This is just heartbreaking to listen to these details. Hear that this sheriff's deputy was just sitting in his patrol car outside of the station there when this suspect, according to the police, or to the sheriff there, came up and shot him in cold blood.
So the sad reality, Kara, is that uniformed officers in patrol cars are just vulnerable to people like this, and they have to be out there. They need to be seen in the community, but they also know there are people that want to harm them just because they represent the law. And I can tell you, it doesn't go a day when deputies and/or patrol officers in cities and counties don't think about that this could happen to them. I've been to these type of shootings. They're extremely emotional. I completely understand how probably every LASD officer, technician, crime analyst was on board to figure out who this guy was. And I think they got lucky from probably cameras, and also it sounds like the public put it right there for them, maybe even the exact address and the guy's name. So it went together quickly, but it's such a sad thing. So
they still don't know what the motive is here. From your experience, do you think it's possible that Salazar could have known this sheriff's deputy, had run-ins with him previously? From past cases, do you find that there is usually some sort of connection?
In the studies of ambush shootings of police officers, about 25%, 1 in 4, had some sort of relationship or knew the officer. The other were just targeting officers, and that tends to be the case. And that 75%, where they just have some anger, rage, and the police represent something to them. Keep in mind, when you look at the profile of ambush shooters of police officers, they also, 75% of them have a criminal record, 40% of them have a violent crime record. So you're talking, obviously, a troubled person to begin with. And usually those folks tend to have problems with law enforcement, no matter what level, city, county, state, federal, and they hold grudges. And so we'll have to see how this particular 29-year-old plays out as far as where he falls into that. But I don't want to repeat myself, but it is one of those things that you think about if you're in a uniform every day, because you unfortunately have to be vulnerable to do your job.
It's pretty incredible just to watch the video here, not only of the surrender, but just of fellow deputies, police officers saluting, honoring the fact that Ryan was killed. But when you watch these pictures here of Salazar surrendering, you see clearly the SWAT teams surrounding the house. It is pretty incredible how they were able to negotiate to get him to come out. So many times the suspects barricade themselves inside. There's a shootout. They hold someone hostage. They were able, I'd like to know what they were able to say to get him to come out, because there were no guns a-blazing. And, it's the best day, right, when a SWAT team can negotiate versus have to use deadly force.
So the best way to do this is by the numbers, and that's what they did. The first thing you do is address, I won't call them hostages, it sounds like family members, because I didn't hear anything that there was an attempt to hold them in there. So eventually, whatever the number is, X number of family members come out. They debrief them. They say there's nobody else, probably, this is what they say. Nobody else is in the house but him. He then barricades himself in the house, and they smoke him out, basically, and use gas grenades of some sort, and he can't breathe. I think that's the only reason he came out.
Right. So, Will Carr, you were in that presser just moments ago. The sheriff clearly getting very emotional. You know, it's hard when you lose one of your own, young deputy. What more can you tell us just on the leads that they got and how quickly they had a chance to move and surround that house. And do we know if family members were helpful here with regard to getting Salazar to give up and walk out the way he did?
Kira, as the sheriff's wrapping up here, it was clearly an emotional press conference as he was talking about the deputy being a third-generation member of the sheriff's department. You can see that they are wrapping up here right now. This has been a chaotic 36 hours for the LA Sheriff's Department. This all played out Saturday night when the deputy was in his patrol car in uniform, not far from where we're standing right now, when a suspect pulled up in a Toyota Corolla and started firing. We know that then that led to a manhunt across this area. The Sheriff's Department asking for the community's help, putting out a $250,000 reward. The sheriff just mentioned that because of that and because of information that they got from the community, it led to that arrest overnight, that dramatic arrest where the SWAT team went into a neighborhood not far from here, shot chemical agents into the house, broke out the windows on the second story of that house. Witnesses say there was smoke coming out of the house, and eventually the suspect, 29-year-old Kevin Salazar, came out. The SWAT team forced him to take his shirt off before they arrested him. Kevin Salazar is inside of this building right now where the sheriff and his team are going. As we said, it's been a very emotional day. I want to point out a couple things to you here, Kira. Flags at half staff. All the deputies are wearing their badges with a black line over it for the memorial. You have a ton of members of the media here, and you also have members of the public, and they have been here since Saturday night, setting up all of these luminaries as they've set up memorials. They've been mourning. This is a murder, in the sheriff's words, that has rocked this community. There is a real sense of bonding that has gone on over the past 36 hours. And a deputy who, like I mentioned, is third-generation member of law enforcement, and he just got engaged 4 days before this shooting. So that is why the sheriff ended up getting emotional during this press conference. Right now, he says they don't know the motivation. He believes that it was a random attack, potentially because the deputy here was in his uniform and in his patrol car. Still a lot of questions, but they do have the suspect behind bars, and the sheriff says he is confident that they got the right guy. Kira.
Will Carr, thank you so much just for taking us inside such a loving perimeter, shall we say, honoring this young deputy. Clearly his life gone far too soon. We'll stay on top of the story as we learn more. Brad, thank you. Will, always thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.